And what is my last question for the baseball? What in God's green earth should the San Francisco Giants do with Timmy Lincecum? I can't even call him Big Time Timmy Jam.
Nah, not anymore.
Not this year. Not right now. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can't win with him. Can't coach with him. Sorry, I always will love that. Oh, I got kicked out of the chat room, everybody. Anyway, if the Yankees go...
Yeah, I agree. Pixel Junkie writes in the chat room, Timmy Lincecum is trade bait. And I agree with that, too. Because I think he's only under contract for one more year because he only did like a 2 or 3 year deal, $40 million with the Giants, because the Giants didn't want to give him that big contract because of his weird, funky delivery. Now, people are saying that this is the year that finally the weird, funky delivery caught up to him, and that's why he's having a crappy year. But I don't think that is. I just think he's having a bad year. It is what it is. Maybe... I don't know. Maybe he's just not happy anymore in San Francisco. Maybe he felt slighted that Matt Cain got the biggest deal ever for a right-handed pitcher and not him. I don't know. Maybe that affects his psyche a little bit. But I actually agree with Pixel Junkie saying that he is going to be trade bait. I don't know what teams are going to make a push for him yet, just because I don't know the market yet. There's 2 weeks left before the trade deadline. They might want to hold on to him unless...
How do you think he might fit in the Mets rotation? I'm just picking a team that doesn't have a lot of
the Mets aren't going to make a trade for him. You're going to have to give up an arm and a leg to get a Timmy Lincecum, an ex-Cy Young.
Yeah,
and the Mets are not trying to give up everything that they have.
Yeah, no, they like. I think the Mets are starting to like the younger guys that they're bringing in, a little veteran leadership mixed in.
The Mets do like their team right now, and they have 2 very good young pitchers that are coming up through their system as well. Zach Wheeler, they don't know if he's going to make his major league debut this year, but Zach Wheeler is the best pitcher in the minor leagues right now, and he's on the Mets, and they actually got him for Carlos Beltran last year.
Okay.
So,
it's funny. The stats on Lincecum are just depressing. He's 3-9 with a 6.08 ERA. He ranks 102nd among the 104 qualified pitchers.
Yeah, dude, that is not good.
His whip is 1.55. He's already allowed more earned runs, 63, than he did in the entire season, in the entire 2009 Cy Young season. And the worst part, maybe, is the fact that with the Giants only a half game back from the Dodgers in the NL West, they're 4-14 in the games that Lincecum starts and 42-26 in all other games.
Well,
almost 20 games above 500 when he's not playing, and 10. Oh wow!
Which I don't think they're gonna trade him. Trade bait could be good, but I don't think at this point they're gonna trade him.
Like you said, though, they're gonna want a lot for him. Who's gonna be willing to give that up?
Maybe next season, maybe during the off season, he might get traded. I don't think he'll get traded though during this year while they're making a push for the playoffs or anything like that. Because what if he turns it around in the second half and he becomes big time Timmy Jam?
Yeah, that's one. Because if you trade him and he goes 7-0 for the rest of the season with a 2.0 ERA,
that screwed us.
You're gonna be really peeved off that you let him go. It's hard to say because I actually really like the kid. I like watching him pitch. His weird delivery actually is sort of entertaining to me to see. I think it's sort of cool to see the style that he throws with. But it's interesting because it's like you said, they're going to ask for an arm and a leg if they do trade him. And how many teams are going to be willing to make a trade with that much invested when they're not 100% sure what guy they're going to get? So that's going to be interesting to see unfold. Once the trade deadline gets around here, we'll relook at it, see if there's any rumors going on or anything.
It's a couple weeks before the trade deadline. I'm anxious to see what the Phillies are going to do. I definitely think they're going to trade center fielder Shane Victorino, but it becomes a point now, what do you do with Cole Hamels? I understand you're getting back Halladay maybe in a week.
I actually
think next week he comes
back.
I
think he's due to start the same day CC starts.
I know Sabathia's starting Tuesday.
Yeah, I think he's due to start that same day.
So when Halladay comes back, they're gonna have to I don't know, rethink things for about a week and say, do we just put all of our chips right now and try and make a push even though we're 12 games back, or do we start trading?
I actually read an article last night because the Hamels question was one of the questions that was part of this like grouping of questions that I was looking at. And, you know, the guy that wrote this stuff, I really should have wrote down his name to give him credit for helping me come up with these questions, and I apologize that I didn't. But one of the things he wrote was that the Phillies, if they play it right, could actually trade Hamels to add a prospect or two.
And then sign him back.
And then sign him back at the end of the year.
That's what they did with Cliff Lee.
That's how they did Cliff Lee?
That's exactly what they did
That
with Cliff
is
Lee.
one hell of a smart business move.
Right?
Get a little bit of young talent and hope that maybe they turn into something, maybe they don't. But no matter what, you get back the other guy. So it's like, where can you go wrong?
That's exactly what they did with Cliff Lee. They got all these prospects for him.
Why are my Mets this smart?
They don't have a pitcher as good like that.
That's a good point.
That's true.
That's a good